get so mad, there's no control in me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab at that, I don't know. My rap, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And I ain't gon' wish you shut the fuck up real bad. Shut up.
Well, fans, I am BX Sports Kemp, the Samurai. We are going to be NXT Great American Bash. A lot in there. Let's say first hello, Samurai. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm up, man. I'm ready to go to the Great American Bash. Was kicked off with a promo or host NXT UK Tag Team Champions, Finn and Josh Briggs, hosting the Great American Cookout, the NXT 2.0.
What?
I thought you said something.
I was talking to my sister.
Okay, Great American Bash. The NXT roster there. Hyped up the matches. We saw Ikaro, and others came high. We also saw cuts in showing getting the pool all sexy and to the disgust of the ladies. And then we saw the big guy, Sanga, jump right in after him on a big cannonball. They have a few words. Said he was worried about infection. They seeing each other there. And then we kept seeing the and putting some more light on the charcoal on the frames, and poof, we explode and we go right into Bash from Orlando, Florida. Of course, the host Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett chants USA, and it kicks off NXT Great American Bash with the NXT Team Champion Cora, Jade, and Roxanne Perez taking on G. Dolan and Jade. Attraction, the first match to start the Great American Bash. Wow. I like that opening match, the way the attraction started off.
I mean, it was good. From the opening bell to the end. I mean, I kind of expected Toxic Attraction to lose. I mean, although I don't really know, what they're gonna do as far as like that goes, because later on in the night we have Roxanne Perez saying she's gonna cash in her contract to face Mandy Rose next week. So I don't know how that's gonna play out.
So we have the challenger Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade taking on the champion Toxic Attraction. They head to the ring together as Alicia Taylor does the introduction out of the women tag titles. The bell rings and Jade starts off with Jade. They lock up. They go to the mat. The fans for Toxic Attraction, for Gigi, for Jade. They're lacking for the NXT Universe, and of course the wrestlers back up. They still back and forth. They continue. Jade takes up Jade into the rope. Back and forth. Jade ducks and swings a roll by Jade up to a 2 count. Then they go trade to one another, and then of course you see some kicks. I saw a kick from Jade on the mat. You then the uppercut with the basement backdrop for a false shoot. The tag back and forth, clean back match. One thing that I got a little bit myself, again during on the picture my God, the amount of commercial. I can see why folks get upset and frustrated. They think it's because of that pictures. You tend to lose a lot of essence of them. There was a lot of back and forth heat. Good finish. I thought the match was phenomenal. We get back to action. Classic Action mostly dominated this match. So I was like, they're done this match. It had me a little bit worried. Dolan down for her while Rose continued from the ringside. There where Dolan was going to kind of painful, and the referee in position. You saw Mandy Rose pull the referee out of the ring, get ejected, get tossed out. Now, when you saw the ref tossed out, toxic attraction. It might be. So, what's your thoughts on that? Mandy Rose interjecting match as my partner stepped out for a moment. So hopefully he always got technical issues. He'll be in a minute. So we saw Mandy Rose get tossed out from the ring, and all of a sudden, they're in trouble. So we see some matches there. We saw the match continue where her getting Samurai, before you had technical difficulties, when she was pulled out of the ring, Mandy Rose and ejected, pulling the ref out. What did you think? You thought Toxic Attraction was in trouble?
Did I think Toxic Attraction was in trouble? Well, I mean, they were in trouble, weren't they? Like I said,
out there.
I mean, yeah, that was a kind of a heel thing to do. I mean, and she got ejected for it, right? So because she got ejected for it,
yes,
that caused. I guess that caused the I don't know. It should have caused a DQ if you really think about it, because she pulled the referee out of the ring.
Correct. But tossed out of there, tags in for a double team. Jade breaks up the pin time. We thought that match was. I thought that was gonna sit, but Jade just breaks up that pin. Jade tosses Jade to the floor. Jade ends up with the running back in and taking it out to the floor. They get out to the apron, and then with the tackle, Dolan and Perez trade offense. Then you see Perez with a kick to Dolan and a pop rock to the Destroyer. In for the pin, 1, 2, 3, and a new NXT Tag Team Champions in Cora, Jade and Roxanne Perez. After the match, I'm gonna have a little bit of a disagreement. They say the crowd went wild. Not really. The crowd, you saw Jade in the air. You could say it was 6. The fans were cheering for Roxanne and Cora Jade to win. 40% was not in agreement with it. I am with the other. I am part of the 40%. I did not like seeing Roxanne and Cora Jade win these titles off of Toxic Attraction. I know Toxic Attraction has to drop the title eventually, but I don't think to a team that just got formed 2 weeks ago, and now they're a team, and especially with her winning the breakout tournament and going forward, now you team up with my best buddy. I get it. The storyline is kind of cute. You're good best friends. You want to have your best friends. You want to get together, but I thought Katana and Chance should have gotten that opportunity to the throne because they're more of a natural tag team. Their matches were clean, and also there were 3 botches by Cora Jade in this match. 3 botches, and I'm like, if you're gonna be tag team champions, Cora Jade, you should be wrestling more cleaner, not botching. I understand stuff happens, mistake happens, but not if you're gonna go to that tag level. Especially you had 2 phenomenal matches with Natalia when she came down to NXT. I was disappointed there. Are you okay? Do you agree or disagree? Or what's your thoughts? What's your opinion?
I basically I'm going to agree with you on that because if there's 3 botches in a match and you had you're supposed to be the veteran in the tag team technically. I mean, because she has been wrestling longer than Roxanne Perez has, so I don't know. I mean, it's just a very bizarre situation. Like she shouldn't have botched, but she did apparently. So.
Right, I get it, but seldom Not because I'm not just saying, guys, because she shouldn't win the title. No. I think the match should have been more cleaner. But we'll see where it goes from there. Maybe take a traction. Drop the women's tag title following the following NXT program. The night they obtained, that's when it was against Roderick and Raquel Rodriguez at that time, and they retained their titles. Maybe they're going to be retaining the titles and having like a longevity with like women's tag titles. Where we go there, but all in all, it'd be interesting to see where we go there. It also sets a stage for a lot of speculation. Maybe they drop her woman in the title, and you see all three facets of toxic attraction elevated to the women's roster back on Raw. Now that with Morgan winning the title, and of course they want to get back to the women's. Now that you missed it earlier, I mentioned on the program that I personally think when sources don't know. Advice I got is I know that and both in Orlando, Florida, they went to Disney World, they went to Epcot Center. McMahon was Stephanie and in Orlando and NXT because they signed Logan Paul. They met with Sasha Banks. They met with her camp. They met some good meetings. I think she's going to be back with WWE. No official words. I don't care what people say. Follow Tony Khan on social media. My words, my opinion. I'm saying stays with the WWE. Then you'll see she'll be coming out shortly, maybe in SummerSlam or pretty soon. So that's just me saying that. If you missed the program earlier when I did the review, so back onto the program there. We're not going to continue with the women's titles and the division. So maybe Toxic Attraction. What a way to bring them up with Mandy Rose. You got to there going. We'll talk about other ladies might have the factor, but we'll move on here. We saw footage earlier. Breakker coming in. They were asking him how's his shoulder. He said he's fine. He kept walking. Go to another promo. Tony D'Angelo came out saying that don't, and we saw final electro back on there, and of course backstage we saw Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro, and Santos last week. He's got to handle some business that broke his heart, but the Don had to make a tough decision. I guess referring to two dimes sleeping with the fishes. And he made, and all we know, we found out that Tony D'Angelo took out Escobar, sent him to the hospital. We saw a picture of him laid out in the hospital because he called them making fun out of Tony D'Angelo not winning a North American title. And he showed that Lopez, Cruz, and Wild the photo and worried about him in the house. And he told both Wild and Cruz, you clowns better get to your next. And I'm going to show you my loyalty next week. So you got that promo there.
What about the promo? The promo was actually not bad. I mean, I kind of expected, Cruz and Wild, to do something, but I mean, they can't really retaliate because if they do, then he's gonna do the same thing he did to Two Dimes, and they don't want that.
Yeah, they see that there's a little bit something going on being brewed here, a little bit of, you could see some animosity there. You saw, maybe that's a way, of course, probably to get some time off for Sando Escobar to probably take some time away, but come back there, keeping that storyline, keeping that heat, and keeping on with no Two Dimes and so forth. So I can see where we got going here. It leads us to the next match, which was versus Trick. Now, this match, awesome match, ready to go. But they go on another commercial break here. And of course we get a vignette of Pretty Deadly talking about titles, how they're from Mexico, they're gonna win the UK titles. It shows that it looks like Pretty Deadly they're pushing them to go up and try to get that NXT UK title away from Briggs and Jensen. Hey, I want to see that match. I personally enjoy watching Pretty Deadly as a tag team match, as a tag team facet, and I'm also impressed with Briggs and Jensen. I think they're really good. I can't wait for that match to come out. I can't wait to see them go at it. It's going to be, to me, fun. I don't know if it's going to be if it's going to be UK, NXT UK, or it's going to be here on the States side, Samurai.
I mean, it really. I think that it will be probably in the UK because that's where the titles were they're from. They came in inception in the United Kingdom, so that's where they should defend them. I mean, I mean, do you really notice that Brooks, that Jensen and Briggs are gone from the NXT local? I mean, do you really think they need to be there? I mean, they should just stay over in NXT UK.
They were good. They're good here. It all depends. They're the types that could come back and forth, because we also seen Lash Legend going back and forth to NXT UK to wrestle there and do some programs there, and also bring it over here on the American side as well. And quite a few now. We'll break down another group that's gonna head to UK to participate in the NXT 2K as we get later down to review it. We won't break that. We make that spoiled. But we get back into the match between Wesley and Trick Williams. Now, all in all, both of these guys, phenomenal match. Trick Williams paying a little tribute to Muhammad Ali, and Hayes is somewhat, acting and Carmelo Hayes is somewhat acting like him in his corner. Bell Ring drops Lee. Some Lee stare him down. Trick takes a Lee to the corner. Then Lee loads some offense, and Trick Williams to a corner. Calling for a timeout with Carmelo Hayes. So they're setting something up with that bottle, with that water bottle. He kept drinking water, kept squeezing. The match, Trick gets in some ground, some submission, and the crowd rallies. I think Wesley looked really good. Before we give the spoiler of the victor, what's your thought on that program, the chemistry, and the match between these two in the ring?
I mean, you already know how I feel about Wesley. Wesley's great. He's got like a ton of potential, and I feel like he should go for a title, not just be stuck in mid-card purgatory. But as far as the chemistry goes, I mean, they have mediocre chemistry. It's not great. I mean, I just don't. Maybe it's just because I don't like Trick Williams, but there's something they can work on there if they choose to continue with this feud, which they kind of did if you think about it later on in the night.
Yep. So we see Trick Williams go on the outside of the apron. He takes one of the water bottles that Carmelo Hayes gives him. He sprays all over his gloves because he has his hands taped like a boxer, and he just sprays all that chemicals on him, or water, whatever the case is. He tosses the water bottle to the announce team. I guess he wants the announce team to smell it so they could illustrate what's going on. And then he got in the ring and he just rubbed it in Wesley's eyes there, causing a distraction. Like maybe smell like alcohol, rubbing alcohol into his eyes. And it got Trick Williams to nail him with the big boot and get the victory. So Trick Williams gets a victory tonight. All in all, the crowd don't like Trick Williams. I'm going to give you an inside behind because, of course, I attend NXT quite often. And Trick Williams is not pretty much liked, but boy, that man could cut a promo. He could cut a promo. He has a microphone skill. He has the look. He gets the heat. I personally am a fan of Trick Williams. You might not like him, but I understand why he's not liked, and that's why I like him. Not because, because he's doing the job of a heel, and he's doing it to a great level where casuals or even like yourself, hardcore, that watches it can't stand him, and he accomplished his objective with Trick Williams. I like the match. I thought Trick Williams rightfully got the victory, although you don't want to lose Wesley's momentum because he's got momentum. He's got something going here too. But now let him go on a long feud. He'll get his revenge on Trick Williams. I think, if Trick Williams getting this victory and then down the road, eventually losing the whole war or the set to Wesley isn't going to hurt him.
You're right about that. Wesley, Wesley taking a loss here doesn't really affect him, but it's just the way that Trick Williams won the match is what bothered me. Because like you got to win by nefarious means or whatever. Like that's not the way it should be done. But that he is a heel, so I get it.
And exactly, just by the way you mentioned that, that's what he accomplished. Again, we go back to the backstage, and we see the beauty strength on her, getting makeup artist sitting in her chair, and she's asking the makeup to powder her some more. And as she closes her eyes, we see Winnie Two out with a handful of powder and smack her face. As she closes her eyes, Winnie Two shows up, smacks the powder, gets a cup, starts drinking, and these ladies go at it. They at it, and unfortunately, the damn picture-in-picture again messes up the essence of this backstage brawl. Something that we were saying WWE hasn't done for quite some time. We miss it, with those backstage brawl spilling into the match. They battled all backstage. You saw Wendy Chu trying to get Tiffany Stratton with a cart, and she got out of the way, and then Tiffany closed eye, and you saw Wendy Chu on a chair, like a king's chair, laughing. Then they kept wrestling into the arena, making their way to the arena onto the picnic table. They had some picnic tables set up with a barbecue grill there, symbolizing the Great American Bash cookout. Chips were all over Tiffany Stratton. Hot dogs were being grilled, and they put out. She smacked her with a hot dog. Got into the ring finally, and they started the match. Now, you'll say, my God, was that the highlight of the match? Wendy Chu in the backstage, nonsense. To me, personally, I think this was night of the match, match of the night, excuse me. For me personally, I think both ladies bought it. Wendy Chu bought it. You saw Wendy Chu with the sleeping cross body offer there. You saw Tiffany Stratton working the fingers even took the fingernails off of Wendy Chu. Tiffany Stratton doing some great moves, athleticism. Also, Wendy Chu is a very good in-ring competitor. I like this match. Before we give the winner, what's your thoughts on from the backstage brawl all the way up to the match? Give me your opinion.
Well, like you said, the whole picture-in-picture kind of took away from it. Like if they didn't go to commercial, it would have given it a bit more pizzazz, if you will. It would have given it a bit more attention to whatever. So I mean, for them to go to a commercial break during that, it kind of killed the momentum of the match. That wasn't supposed to happen until later on, but like they said, it was supposed to happen later on in the evening, which didn't. So I feel like they did what they could with the time that they had. They have actually very good chemistry. So it makes me happy to see Wendy Chu and Tiffany Stratton get the time they deserved, and it wasn't a bad match at all.
No, we even saw Tiffany Stratton was bleeding through her nose. We saw Wendy Chu go for a sleeper against Stratton, countered by a backflip. And Chu, hurt hand, drop kick her into the corner. We see Stratton with a corkscrew Vader bomb from the corner for the victory. And looking really good there. Not only winning that match, and after the match, she stands tall with her music. And you see her flexing her muscles in the corner. We see blood in her nose, also showing a little bit of toughness. And Stratton also ready to come up to the main roster. She is another star in being made. She could cut a real promo. She, with those moves that she has, that athleticism and the look. And also, I was very impressed with Wendy Chu. I thought Wendy Chu, despite what kills her is that gimmick with the sleeping time. I get it; it's cute for the NXT children and the NXT, also the audience. I get it for the young little girls. I get it. I'm not criticizing, but we get lost. What gets lost in that gimmick that she is a good in-ring competitor as well.
That is true. Very true. Very true. I mean, like, it's not it's the gimmick that's killing her, not her performance. Her gimmick is just not for everyone.
Yeah, but I understand they're catering to young audience, a younger audience, young children audience. Wendy Chu with the sleepy time. If they come up with a sleepy time pillow or sleepy time dolly, sleepy time doll, whatever the case is, they could sell. Hey, look, heck, they got that ugly Lily doll making millions of dollars in merchandise. Wendy Chu, something else they could, I could see in a world where it could work, but it may not be for us grown folks about it. But it's not always about catering to us, but we shall see, So we go on while we see Mackenzie Mitchell back introducing the new NXT Tag Team Champions, Cora, Jade, Roxanne, Perez. They finally cut a good promo. We see that they won the title, best friends. They feel it's so surreal. Jade felt that she did not toxic attraction off the pedestal. Perez agreed. Perez still wants to end toxic attraction's range once and for all. So she lets us know she's cashing her breakthrough contract next week against the NXT champion. So Perez says toxic attraction will be done for good. Now, do you believe that Roxanne Perez could get a job done and end the toxic attraction stranglehold range in NXT?
No, I do not. Mainly because I just can't. I want to say yes, but also no, because at the same time, I don't know where they're going to go with this whole tag team of Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. I feel like she is not really ready for the NXT Women's Championship, so I think that it's gonna be a screwy finish. I feel like that. I feel like the rest of Toxic Attraction is gonna cost her the title.
Okay. All right, it'll be interesting to see. Because also, even if Roxy Perez gets or Roxanne, wins the women's title from Mandy Rose, where does that lead? Where does that lead the Lioness, Nikita Lyons? Where does that leave her? They were grooming. Remember, the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament was supposed to be for her to win that. And also last week they teased, or last week we saw that match, Nikita Lyons' return match against Mandy Rose was some unfinished business. I thought tonight would have been a good night for actually that match to be up close. They should have had that match last night. Tonight with Nikita Lyons versus Mandy Rose, I think would have been really good on Great American Bash. But I'm not going to complain about it. I thought the whole card was good, but that made me, but it made me think where Nikita Lyons and Mandy Rose so many days as women's NXT Women's Champion. I don't see her losing it on a random Tuesday night. But remember, I mentioned in my program before, and I'm going to keep mentioning it. When it comes to a WWE, a Vince McMahon run company, and remember his motto back in the 90s, early 80s, mid 90s were in the WWE, anything can happen. Expect the unexpected in the World Wrestling Federation. And this now is the World Entertainment, WWE, but that was his motto. So expect the unexpected. And what we know now, we know that Triple H and Shawn Michaels or Michael Hickenbottom both are control creative, and anything can happen. And it'll be interesting, but I don't see Mandy Rose relinquishing her title on a Tuesday night. I think that will be either the Saturday event before SummerSlam or whenever that NXT event that they're going to do in Nashville. Maybe that's when you're going to see that. You want to make it mean something and make it big, in a premium event where you watch it on the Peacock. Maybe who knows? I might be wrong there, but it'll be interesting to see for I think Roxanne, especially with Nikita Lyons. I have a hard time, Roxy against Nikita. I'm gonna have a hard time thinking Roxanne Perez could beat on Nikita Lyons. No way, no how. It was a little bit. Even you could see maybe a Lash Legend, because Lash Legend's inexperienced, but on Nikita Lyons, you can't say that she's gonna do successfully against Nikita Lyons if she were to be NXT Women's Champion. Just to me. But we move on. Here. We see the NXT champion Bron Breakker in the backstage, warming up in the locker room with the weights or the weightless bands, resistance bands. There we go. And you saw Cameron Grimes come in and ask him, shoulder says, "I'm fine. The Grimes is good. I want to make sure you're 100%." and I wouldn't have it. So he says, I'm not going to hold back. Bring it. So I like that a little bit build up to that time match exchange. They both are, you could say, both faces, or you could say Cameron Grimes is a tweener with it. I liked it. Go to another commercial. Apollo Crews walking in the back. He comes to the microphone to give thanks to the fans, chanting his name. Crews wanted to share something. Crews, he says when he goes home last year, he asked his kids what he thought of his work. They said that it wasn't him, so he didn't recognize him. Of course, talking about that fake Nigerian accent and that gimmick. Eventually stopped. The kids said they're proud of him and watching him as on NXT. So he's getting a repackage here, and all of a sudden, Da Vinci comes out, interrupts. What you think for? We set up a match for next week. Giovanni Vinci versus Cruz. Did you like that? I am. I can't wait.
You can't wait to see that match. I can't either. I mean, I think that it's going to be a barn runner, so to speak. It might blow the roof off the Capitol. It might blow the roof off the place. I mean, those two can definitely go. I think that, especially Apollo Crews. I mean, we have yet to see his full potential. I already know how Giovanni Vinci can go because I've seen him before as Fabian Eichner. So I think he will, he'll do something. I don't know.
I think both wrestlers, especially Giovanni. We already know Apollo in the main roster, former champion. A WWE mid-card champion and so forth. But Giovanni, I think is roster ready. If you were to bring Giovanni up to the main roster, he could fit in perfect. He will wrestle well. He does a lot of moves that a lot of the other NXT wrestlers doesn't even have the green light to perform in the ring yet, or not confident enough. Giovanni does it from the chops to the suplexes to the power bomb. He's got the it. So I can't wait to see these two wrestlers go at it next week to see the kind of match they have. I think this is to me a measuring bar test or a barometer for Giovanni Vinci. Remember, like I said, Hunter's back, Hickabaum is there, which is Shawn Michaels. They want to bring in up new talent. That's what WWE wants to do, bring the next stars up to bring an infusion of younger talent. And you can't keep them all in NXT all the time. They want to start going up. And I think he's one of the first ones they're keeping an eye on. Next week is going to be a big test for Giovanni. Don't even waste him trying to get him any NXT gold. If he's ready, bring him up. There's a facet they could use him in. And even if he's on a solo act, they could use him. Even if he's going to go back with his Imperial folks, with Gunther and Keisner, you might. Who knows? I'm not. Just throwing some stuff out there. I'm excited to see these two. To me, it's going to be the witness, the litmus test, the eye test. If it make it work, I hope so, man. I hope so. So we move on here. We got Mackenzie Mitchell backstage with Ivy Now. She was asked if tonight's match for the NXT tag titles is a sign of a crack in Diamond Mine. Now says they are all world-class athletes and they can't stop stepping foot on the Diamond Mine dojo unless they're badass. Now said that the Eagles got to go check, and the Diamond Mine is forever. Just isn't just a catchphrase; it is real. But then we hear some commotion breaking up her promo time. A lot of ladies arguing in the back, and you hear Texan Plaxley arguing with Katana Chase again, and Carter. Nyla walks up and gets between them and said, "Enough already." And Carter and Chance walks away. Plaxley thanks Nyla. You better get yourself out of the mess and learn how to work out with yourself. To be in the Diamond Mine Dojo at 8 a.m. and Plaxley says she's got it. So does it look like Ivy Now is going to team up with Plaxley now as a tag team and look like they're going to take her on the wing in the Diamond Mine? That's what it looks like there, and they're moving towards that there. What's your thoughts?
I think that it's a good idea because they really don't have any female tag teams. It's especially if they have the worthless, title belts, because they pretty much are worthless. There's no tag team for them to go on. So I feel like yes, that's the best just thing for. I mean, not really for Ivy Nile, but for Tatum Paxley because, you know, she's got nothing to do. Ivy's just got great on her own. She can go for NXT Gold if she really chose to.
Right, and maybe they don't want to put, like I said, that maybe they don't want to push her yet because you still have a couple of ladies ahead. Like with now you have Roxy in the mix, Nikita Lyons. You also Abba Fire. So we don't know. Ivy Niles is another one. But maybe they don't want to just yet, and not they don't want to have a short title range. They want to make a title range count. So you put her in the tag team and pick her take. Also help Paxi under her wing. I can see where they, so like you said, more tag teams will be great there. And then we see Grayson Waller backstage getting ready for his title shot, taunting Melo about last week's signature rules, how much money he made, how much money he got for his signature. All right. So then we saw from the break the vignette of J.D. McDougal, the former Jordan Devlin. We saw that his promo. He's coming. So okay, we know that McDougal's coming, aka Jordan Devlin. Then we see Bron Breakker backstage with the locker room and with the trainer, and asking if he has any pain on his shoulder. The trainer wants to put tape, and Bron Breakker says he's good. So they're trying to tease us that Bron Breakker has a serious shoulder injury. If he does lose the belt tonight, drop the title, it could be because of that injury to that shoulder. If Cameron Grimes could take advantage of that shoulder, we might have a new NXT champion, but leaves us in suspense there. That's promos. Then when we turn finally from the promos, we get the North American title match. Here we go. Whoa, here we go. I said that the ladies match was one of the match of the night. This does not stay back from behind. Here, the next NXT the NXT American title. Grayson Waller takes on Carmelo Hayes. Man, first of all, I love the entrance. Love that Trick Williams and the podium stop Mando entrance there. I loved it. What were your thoughts on that? It was a WrestleMania type of entrance from Carmelo Hayes.
I mean, yes, it was. I mean, I don't understand what Trick Williams was doing up there, but I was confused for a second, like what's going on. But yeah, he actually sold it pretty well. I mean, he, like you said, he can cut a promo. It's just that, he didn't really show too much enthusiasm when he was actually I guess announcing Trick Williams. I mean, Trick Williams was not showing much enthusiasm when he was announcing Carmelo Hayes, which was a bad thing. But also, he did have a match earlier in the night, so I can understand that.
Yeah, and we saw then, because I'm like, man, this is not Carmelo Hayes' introduction, because I've been there so many times. I know I'm like, who the hell? He changed his intro? And then it came to it, and I'm like, whoa. Then let me tell you something. If even if he's a face, a heel, a tweener, Carmelo Hayes has the it factor. Carmelo Hayes is going to be a star. He is going to be a star in the WWE years to come. I can't wait when he has his matches along with Rollins, the life of Rollins, Madcap Moss. I can see a good match with them. He is a star, ready to go. I understand if he stays in NXT, because personally, selfish reasons, I hope he stays a little longer in NXT because I can get to see and appreciate Carmelo Hayes week in, week out perform in the Performance Center in front of myself and in front of us audience, part of the NXT universe. I'm going to be honest, I'll be a little selfish, but if he goes, it's because he's going to go up there, he's going to catch the main roster on fire. This guy has the it factor. I am so big. I am a Carmelo Hayes fan. So we get back into the ring. Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller. The bell rings. They lock up. They trading holds in the middle of the ring. They break. They both accuse each other of pulling each other's hair. Of course, the fans start with the Carmelo Hayes, Walker. Some talk trash. They get each other's feelings. Waller rolls Hayes for a 2. Then Hayes rolls into a handful of tights for a 2. They're trading strikes. They're Hayes dodging kicks, and a clothesline by Waller. Hayes chops Waller against the ropes. They whips him around the ring. Waller runs out, rolls back in, and Hayes blocks the stunner. That rolling. Then they face off with each other, back and forth, false finishes, great cross, all cross action. Man, this match. What was your thoughts? Did you really enjoy this match, or am I being exaggerated with the way I'm going with this match?
No, I actually enjoyed it. I mean, it was really good. It was a really good match. Like especially towards the end. Like it got good towards the end. When Trick Williams actually stopped Carmelo. When Trick Williams actually stopped Grayson Waller from getting in the ring to execute the finishing maneuver, and from there you saw Wesley jump the barrier and attack Trick Williams. So, like I said, they are continuing that feud.
Right. Because when he wanted to roll back in.
Huh?
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Well, yeah. That's the part that I enjoyed that part because I kind of expected it to happen because of the screwy finish from the Wesley Trick Williams match.
Once Trick Williams stopped her from getting in the ring, of course, Wesley chases off, chasing after Trick Williams, but while in the ring, get back in by rolling through the ropes, and Hayes was just there to meet him in the midair, drops him with a big. I mean, both the one Waller sold it beautifully, and Melo executed perfect. A big cold breaker, and Hayes gets to the top and hits a big flying leg drop. My God, that leg drop looked so sweet, and he retains for the victory. Carmelo Hayes wins. After the match, Carmelo stands tall with his title in the kits. And we go to replay. It was phenomenal. I was happy with it. Both are great performers. Both have some great chemistry. Melo and Waller. Waller is so underrated wrestler. Of course, NXT crowd doesn't like him. Of course, what he wants. He has that same heat as Trick Williams. You're not supposed to like him, but all in all, he does the job. I am a big fan also of Waller because he gets it. He gets it done. I loved it. I want to move on to the next. We saw a QR code. Did you scan that QR code yourself, Samurai?
I tried.
Don't worry about it. All it was 8, 10, 11. That's all it was.
It was for what?
8, 10, and 11. I have no idea.
I don't know what that was.
That's
I saw it. I'm like, it was just bizarre.
It's probably for a promo or a facet or someone coming in. I don't know what the 8, 10, 11 means, but what time we will find out. And that's what that was there. Of course, then we come back. Mackenzie's backstage with Zion Quinn. He addresses the Apollo crew, and he says he's focused on NXT title, North American title, but he says crew is focused on the wrong things. He should have Quinn. And Quinn doesn't mean to brag, but he's a box guy. He says when you Google WWF Superstar, it shows a picture of him in the suggestion box. So Quinn is being full of himself. It looks like we're setting up Zion Quinn, Apollo Crews feud. I like it. Also, after this is done with Giovanni and Zion Quinn, another one. I think the wrestlers that are going to be facing Apollo Crews, see how he deal with the WWE talent, how they work in ring, how polished they are, because Zion Quinn, also another one who's been in NXT for quite some time. I think he's starting to get ready. Either he's going to get called up to the main roster, or when cuts come, he's going to be employed elsewhere. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, like, Zion Quinn, yes, he deserves to be called up, but at the same time, I want to see him stay down there for a little bit longer just to get a little bit more seasoning. He can be thrust right into the IC title picture with Gunther or Walter, whatever you want to call him. I feel like he's more than ready to be called up, but at the same time, he just should stay down there for a little bit longer.
I think it all depends. To me, I want to see how he fares off with the Apollo Crews. feud. If he does look good, if he comes out good, no botches, the match is interesting, appealing, bring him up, get him up there. Another talent there, you could put him on there. Some good matches there. If he comes as a heel or a face, if he's a face, go up against the Alpha Academy. With Gable, who's another fine good wrestler there. Now that Miz and Ciampa became a facet, something there along those lines. I don't know, just throwing some names, but we'll get back to it. We'll move on because I got to get to work and I want to make sure this podcast is a little short and sweet. So we get the NXT Tag Team Champions. You got the Diamond Mine, Dominic Strong, and Damon Kemp taking on the Creed brothers. Now, this was a good match, back and forth matchup between them. I thought it was a good, clean match, back and forth. You got Kemp taking on Julius, and you saw, man, God. What was your thoughts on this tag match?
Well, it was a good tag match. I mean, like the winners, and still NXT champions, tag team champions, the Creed brothers. I kind of expected them to not lose. I mean, even if they lost, it was still going to be in the same. It was still going to be in the Diamond Mine. So I don't understand why they had the match. That makes sense.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I was a little buzzed because after the match, the music hit. Brutus and hold their titles in the air. They go and they brace. But Strong, not much. I wish they would have gave us some closure or some direction. It's still like they gave us a tag match with nothing to it. So what's going on with Roderick Strong? Is he still, tonight would have been a good night to get him booted out of Diamond Mine tonight. You had that tag match. Okay, glad blood spilled. Now you need to leave now. They're going to, it would have been funny if Roderick Strong would have left Damon Kemp to get the pin and take the fall and not even care about it, turn his back. Then you'd be like, you know what, you got to go. Maybe Ivory now, separate and they just say, you know what, you're done. Or, but they didn't left. They left us still, huh? So we still don't know the direction of what's going on with Diamond Mine. If they're strong as all for one or together for one, or there's still that one Judas in that bunch. It didn't give us any clarification. The match was entertaining. Don't get me wrong, but the storyline wise, I was more of a scratching my head if it makes sense there. So we'll move on to the next. We saw a vignette. Chase U. So I'm like, whoa, what happened to Chase U? And we saw, with the students, and of course, we saw the Brody can't get any sleep because of his roommate, and we see now. Long story short, Chase U is going on a road trip. That means Chase U is going to UK, NXT UK, maybe for a while, and go visit them or go work out there with them. I think it's a good move. Chase U, really not much to do here in the NXT Performance Center. Maybe go out there and get some more Chase U. Allow them to go wrestle more out there in UK. That's just saying that they're going to send talent into the UK to perform over there. Samurai, I'm okay with it.
I mean, I am too. I mean, like it doesn't really. You don't really miss Chase U. You barely see him on TV anyway.
Well, they sit in the. One thing I'm going to miss. That the wrestlers that are in the Performance Center that are not on TV, they put them in the Chase U shirts and they sit with us. They sit with us in the stands with us. They sit right next to us. They have the Chase U section. Those are Performance Center students, wrestlers that are not ready yet to be on TV. They're performing backstage. They're there and they're very nice. They're very friendly. Very nice guys and girls. And other than that, they're gonna be missed. Yes, that Chase U section is gonna be missed. Maybe for a couple of weeks they go out there and help, accelerate with the talent there. But all in all, I understand what they're doing there, and it was cool. It was cool. So we'll see what's going on with Bron Breakker going on and what happens. That's the next match. But we saw a vignette for, was it Zion, formerly known, I think that's the A-Kid, isn't it?
I couldn't really tell because I couldn't hear I couldn't hear A-Kid because A-Kid's he's Spanish.
Yes.
He has that Spanish accent.
It's A-Kid. So now he comes on Zion. Zion is going to be a mathematician. The internet says it's a kid. It looks like it's a new gimmick for the A Kid, who is out with a minor injury, so he'll be returning pretty soon. So we caught that there. Then we got another promo backstage where Mackenzie is backstage with Mr. Stone, Saphira Cromwell, and the one and only Von Wagner. So your Von Wagner is there. So talking about he's not competing at the Great American Bash, and Stone and Cromwell go on a rant and how the fans keep for Wagner not being in action tonight because no one likes a Von Wagner. They don't know what's a Von Wagner. And of course, Solo Sikoa interrupts Von. Why is he walking around crying, blaming the NXT universe on how it is? Solo says he doesn't see the Street Champ doing that. He knocks Von Wagner from acting like he owns something and blaming the fans. Von Wagner interrupts and he tells Stone and Karma, stay out of it. Don't speak for him. And he took a little bit of a set of testicles there. And it looks like we're setting up a face-off between Von Wagner and Solo Sikoa. I guess they took Solo Sikoa away from the North American title run, and they're gonna throw him with Von Wagner there. A little bit of a dodgeball situation there, deviating us from it. But you know what? I think that feud between Wagner and Sikoa is gonna work.
I mean, yeah, it can work if they plan it right. If they plan it right and do things the right way, yes, it can. It can potentially work in their favor. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but it's gonna have to happen. I mean, I do feel like Von Wagner is gonna hold championship gold in the future. You know, whether it's the NXT championship or the North American championship, we have yet to see. But I do think he will hold gold in the future.
Indeed. We'll see when that happens, if it's next week or in the upcoming event. We'll see there. And then we get to the main event time. Finally, the main event. We get the NXT title match between Cameron Grimes, Bron Breakker. Both men are in the ring to a huge pop from Alicia Taylor. The bell rings, and they go at it. Bron backs Grimes into a corner, steps away. The ref warms him. They locked up again. Fans, of course, go back and forth with their dueling chants. Grimes, Breakker away from the crowd. And you see him going after that injured arm. Bron shoves him away on the mat. They lock up again. Bron takes Grimes down with a headlock. Grimes tried to turn it around and go after the hurt shoulder. So we're starting to see that cat and mouse game. All in all, I really enjoyed the match. I thought the match was really good. And, of course, they only had 10, 15-minute time limit. Not much time, but they made it work, Samurai. I thought the match was perfect. I didn't go too long or not too short. I thought it was fine.
I mean, yes, I kind of agree with you there. I mean, they didn't cut it short with commercial. Or did they? I don't think they did. They might not have cut it. They didn't cut it short with the commercials. Okay, so yeah, that was a perfect amount of time for Cameron Grimes and Bron Breakker. About 15 minutes. I wanted Cameron Grimes to win, but at the same time, I know why he didn't win because they have something planned for Cameron Grimes. What it is, I don't know yet, but we do know that his next challenger is Jordan Devlin or JD McDougal. I don't know, McDowell, whatever his name is. I'm sure call him Jordan Devlin because why not? That's his name. I do feel like, yeah, I'm kind of happy to see that,
Yep, and of course we saw Bron mount some more offense now, hitting a flying shoulder tackle. Grimes leaping, but Bron slamming him in the middle of the air. That was the dopest stuff to see him get that spear off the middle of the air for the victory. Bron. My God, of course, we saw him hit some Frankensteins that time there. It was good. Good match. We saw Bron Breakker retain his title, holding it up to NXT Universe, showing us he's the champion. On his way out, he gets attacked, like you said. For the spoiler alert, DJ McDougal, Jordan Devlin is setting up that Jordan Devlin is arrived here. He was supposed to come out next week. I guess he had himself as a surprise. He attacks Breakker, throws him against the table, and of course, we go off the air. You see the NXT champion on the ground. All in all, with a new threat JD Madugu. Okay, let's see where that takes us there. It looks like Madugu is not going to get the North from the NXT title because that's his first feud. You bring him in, he's not going to win the title. So all in all, let's see how they build up this feud. Of course, Bron Breakker needs that classic feud that is going to make his title range special. And I hope Jordan Devlin, a.k.a. Madugu, is that guy to make his title reign memorable with some feuds. They thought they were going to do it with Joe Gacy, but it didn't work out. All in all, we'll see coming up. Let me get your thoughts before we get out of here. What did you think about Great American Bash tonight? Did it really live up to your expectation? I thought this could easily have been a premium event. That's how good it was, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree with you on that. Because like, why didn't they make it a premium event? I can't speak. They could have did it on Sunday, before Independence Day, but they chose to do it on Tuesday. I don't understand it, but it is what it is.
I agree.
So I agree with you on that.
They could have done it on Sunday night and leave Tuesday completely off. You would have more. And let me tell you one thing on a quick note. Half of that crowd that was tonight on NXT are not the normal NXT crowd that was there. I was looking at it. I don't know what happened with their Facebook application or wherever where you get tickets or get to put on the list, because yours truly couldn't make that list, couldn't be there, because where I normally go to get my tickets or access, it was not available. So they were selective of who the hell they bought in there. And it sucks because this is a premium event. Let your NXT crowd, who is loud, ruckus, and brings it in every week, there. You bought some folks there that, if you looked at the other side of the arena, it was dead. My normal section where I normally sit with my crowd, with my group, I guess my people, they're loud, they were good, but the other side was duds. They were, I don't know who the hell they invited. If they're trying to invite people that normally don't go to that, that looks bad on TV. Please, NXT, let the regulars that go there week after week to support the product, who are there cheering when you want us to cheer for and clap and get your product to look good on television, and also have fun. Well, for your premium events, bring the same people. Don't bring these other folks that they were there with sitting on their hands there, and they looked at, and the matches were great. Everything looked good. Half of the crowd looked at electric. The other half looked bored. And I'm not saying they were bored because they were bored, because they are not NXT people. I don't know who the hell they bought there tonight. Half of the crowd was not the normal NXT folks, and I'm going to give that a criticism. Yes, I will criticize WWE indeed. As much as I criticize and ridicule AEW, I have to criticize and ridicule my WWE NXT as well, especially the crowd. Half of that crowd is not the normal crowd, folks. That last night, I don't know who the hell was half of that other crowd. That's not the normal NXT crowd that goes there week after week, and it's sad because if you go back and look at the weeks prior, we are electric, we are loud, we are always on our feet. This looked like they gave them some volume and they put everyone there just to relax or they might have gave up some brownies for everyone to eat and just be mellow, because the NXT universe is not that mellow. They are loud, and there was maybe 2 NXT chants. Usually when we go, it's NXT all night, and it's so loud, and it wasn't as loud as normal. And I don't know if they wanted that type of tone for a Great American Bash, especially when you have a title event that is American Bash. They should have personally brought the same crowd back up. I'm a little disappointed on that, but I'll end that with that note. I want to thank you guys for joining me, Samurai Cutting here, and we thank you guys. You have a good night for this late night. I know it's a little bit late, but Samurai, thank you for coming on, and we'll see you next time, Samurai. All right?
All right. Have a nice night.
All right. We'll be right back.
I'm awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat,
looking
I
at
don't
the
know, my
youngest
rap,
and
my blood
best
boils over
rising
like,
star in
oh God, here
professional
goes.